Hi everyone, Alistair Davies here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're looking at the big stick, the driver, how we can start the swing correctly with this club. I get quite a lot of comments, whether it be in live lesson or on YouTube or social media, people saying, does this apply to the driver? So this is specific for the driver, the takeaway, but basically the takeaway I'd want you to do with any club would be the same, but there are a few pitfalls people fall into with the driver club, and I'll explain exactly why and what they do just after following this introduction. So if you are new to the channel, please consider following or subscribing. I post 3 videos a week, all designed to help lower your scores and improve your golf. Keep watching to learn the magic secrets for the driver takeaway. So the driver, the golf swing naturally changes from that with an iron, but conceptually, I want you pretty much to do the same things in terms of the mechanics of your body. You are going to set up to the ball differently to a driver than you would do an iron. The ball's going to be more forward, your head's going to be more back in relation to the ball, your sternum's more back in relation to the ball, your hands are more back in relation to the ball. These things, as well as a longer club and potentially a bit more pressure on your right side, are going to affect how you move. But consciously, how you would swing the golf club in terms of plane, path, shoulder tilts and so on are naturally going to be the same. Obviously, the longer the club, the slightly taller we stand. There's a slight change in how we would affect our tilts, but it's nothing conscious. Now, the takeaway. What I tend to see people do with the driver takeaway is get the hands out and whip the club in. Now, they do this with an iron as well, but we see this a little bit more with the driver. Now, the main reason this happens is because they stand too far away from the ball. With the driver, people get sort of scared, they stand further away, they move the ball more forward, it affects how the forearms sit, the shoulder alignment. All these things have a knock-on effect to how the hand path works. So the two things I see, they tend to get the ball more forward, but they do it also by getting the sternum and head more or less lined up with the ball, trying to get that vision on top of the ball. This in turn puts the forearms to the left, and because they stand a bit too far away, so this butt of the club now sits in front of my sternum, nearer my chin or my head. So basically there's an outer sink balance. So when they start the golf swing, then there's a kind of movement forward, the hands go out, and then naturally they start then to work it back round, which gives them that kind of out and round look to the golf swing. Now, in an ideal world, we want to stand relatively the same kind of distance away from the ball with a driver as we would an iron. So if I'm stood to the ball, I want it to be a hand span, okay, from my lead thigh to my little finger, basically. The butt of the club would be fine also. So this butt of the club is sitting close to the sternum. If it's slightly this side of the sternum, I would be okay with that, but sternum's ideal with a good balance. We also want to make sure our toes, or our shoulders rather, don't sit too much outside our toes. You want the back of the armpit to be on kind of your last lace of your shoe. That's ideal. If you start getting the balance wrong, the distance from the ball wrong, you're going to create all kind of compensations in the backswing. So if we have the perfect setup, let's say, then we have to focus on the hand path. And I'm going to give you 2 ways of feeling that right now. Now, I have the Tour Striker Lanyard attached to my back belt buckle. I am now going to slip this over my trail arm elbow. Now, if I take my address now from there, this is already pulling on my back belt buckle. Now, if I take my hands out, I can feel a change. I felt that lanyard then slip. So the idea is really, I'm trying to feel no tension on that lanyard. Obviously, at the very top of the swing, I might start to feel a little bit of tension, but to be honest with you, I can get probably all the way to there with no tension. Now, you could say my arm swing could be a bit longer than that, for sure. But it's certainly, for the start of the golf swing, we can feel that there is no tension increase. Now, if you haven't got a Tour Striker lanyard, you could use some tubing. You could potentially use a belt around your waist and put your arm in if you've got a big belt or something like that. You could use a pair of tights. There's all sorts of stuff that you could use. But TheraTubing or TheraBand will tend to work really well. But you're going to be able to stretch those, whereas this lanyard in theory, once it's at its maximum width, you can't stretch it no more. This isn't quite as maximum width, but I could possibly set it up as maximum width and move the lanyard further around so it's a greater distance and so on. So you can play around with that to feel a kind of tension change. As I said, when I move it, I can feel the tension, I can feel it pulling. So again, I don't want to feel hardly any pulling, certainly for this first half of the swing here. Now, hitting balls with it, as I said, the very top of the swing and the finish, you don't want your arms to come away either, so it's also going to work on your arm path coming more inward as we go through. But you possibly would feel a little bit of tension at the very end of the swing. So let's just maybe hit a small swing with this. So again, sternum and head behind the ball, no tension increase. I had a bit of tension increase in the very fall through. Again, just nurse that one away gently. But it definitely gave me a feel for that takeaway of zero tension increase to get me that sense of stopping my hands working away. Now the second drill is to use an alignment rod. Now all we would do in this is put it down the side of the shaft. Now what I want you to do with this one, I'm going to put a ball on the tee, is we're going to try and feel contact. Again, the setup of the hands will be different to normal, but what I want to feel is as we take the club away, this alignment rod runs across your hips, runs across your belt line. If my hands go out, you'll see the alignment rod works away from my body and points towards target very quickly. I want this to feel like it points towards my body for as long as possible. Naturally, it's going to start to want to do this. So if I can keep it there for as long as possible, and that would be the feeling, the rehearsal feeling. I wouldn't hit shots with this one, not with a driver, because you are going to have, obviously with the ball more forward, a little bit more kick back in the shaft in the very end. We won't have as much shaft lean as we would do with an iron to keep this to the side of our body. So it'd be a rehearsal. And then when we go and hit the ball, I potentially feel we had the image of this being a torch and the light was shining towards our body. And we want to feel that that torch light is still pointing to our body when we get the club almost to the first parallel. Now in reality, it probably wouldn't be. But as a conceptual idea, as an overfeel, an overwork, it would be a good way of doing it, okay? So we can really feel it's kind of there and to our body till our first parallel, then go pretty natural from there to the top. Let's try that. A tiny bit off the toe, but I'm pretty happy with the shot. Just made it draw a little bit on target, but it felt a little bit uncomfortable. It wouldn't be normally what I'd think about in the golf course, keeping that in that position for that long. So again, I'm overdoing things to try and share the information for the video. If you are a roller, for sure it's a good thought for you to do that. You can also make practice swings on the golf course, gripping it down the handle. I'm trying to feel, let's go just the bottom of the handle, and try and feel the butt of the club hits your trail leg. That's the same kind of thing as what we've just been doing. So you can do that while your mates are teeing off, or you can also do that as part of your rehearsal. Do one of those, re-grip it at the normal place, and go ahead and smash it down the middle of the fairway with a more simple thought of maybe just trying to keep your right palm facing the ball a little bit longer. Again, the right palm rolls, the club rolls inside, the butt of the club faces target very quickly, and we don't want that. We don't want that rolling action. If the club starts to get inside from there, generally speaking, it's going to go very steep at the top, very what we call internal. And when we get massively internal, if we don't match it with a huge turn, it's really hard to shallow the club on the way down. So very internal, no turn, very steep on the way down, generally means curtains. So we definitely want to feel that we have the opportunity to get the club in the right place to allow you to play better. So I hope you've enjoyed today's take on the driver takeaway. As I said to you at the start, I want the same things with an iron. The common faults I see with a driver is standing too far away and the forearm alignment and sternum position being incorrect because of the ball position. People don't really get the discipline of getting the forearms in the correct place or the sternum in the correct place, and then too far away from the ball, and then the body weight balances all out so the hands work out and zip in on the way back. We definitely don't want to see that. So hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, please click like and share the video. It really helps my channel if you can do that. The algorithms that YouTube use really helps if I get more likes and more comments. So also post comments down below, even if it's just to chat about your golf, or request a video would be fantastic. So if you want to request a video topic or idea, let me know down below and I'll be grateful of that, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Also, if you haven't already followed me or subscribed, hit my logo down this bottom corner. Join me on my journey and let me help you improve your golf and lower your scores, and hopefully enjoy your golf then at the same time. So lastly, thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for joining me for the video. Hope to see you again very soon here at the Forest of Arden for the next video.